What was the hardest part of being the oldest sibling? My parents forced me to raise all 6 of my younger siblings by myself because they said that's what oldest daughters were for. I was 8 when mom had her second baby and handed him to me saying, "Here's your responsibility." By the time I was 13, there were 6 more kids after me, each one becoming mine the moment they came home from the hospital. My parents moved all the babies into my room and told everyone they just had one very mature daughter. I thought this was normal. Mom always said oldest daughters in good families raised the younger kids so parents could focus on important things. I believed her because what else did I know? This was my job, my purpose, what I was born to do. The expectation came with a warning that haunted me every day. If you ever complain or tell anyone you need help, mom said, holding baby Oliver, social services will take all these kids away. They'll split you up, put you in different homes. You'll never see each other again. Is that what you want? I was 9 years old, and the thought of losing them made me sob. She smiled and handed Oliver to me. That's what I thought. You're their only chance at staying together. I handled everything while my parents lived like a carefree couple. Midnight feedings, potty training, homework help, doctor visits. They'd walk past crying babies like they were invisible. At restaurants, they'd get a table for 2 while I managed 6 kids at a separate table. When strangers asked if I was the babysitter, I'd smile and nod because the truth might mean losing everything. My parents had given me 6 hostages disguised as siblings, but each one of them had carved out a piece of my heart. Leo, the baby, only slept if I rubbed his back in exactly the right way. The twins, Luna and Ruby, had their language always translated for me. Oliver, at 10, still crawled into my bed during thunderstorms. Ethan drew me pictures every day that said, "I love you, mama," in crayon. Little Ivy called me her best friend. I was drowning and desperate, but could never ask for help because I was so afraid they'd be taken from me. I was the only parent they knew, and they were all safe and okay. I couldn't risk ruining that. The school counselor noticed my exhaustion and offered to connect me with resources. I almost broke down and told her everything, but then I imagined Luna crying in some foster home, wondering why I let them take her away. So I smiled and said I just needed more sleep. By 13, I was a ghost of myself. I'd wake at 5 a.m. to pack lunches, braid hair, and find matching socks for 6 kids. I'd missed so much school that letters came home, but I forged mom's signature and prayed no one would call. Sometimes I'd fall asleep sitting up, still holding Leo. The truancy officer finally came to investigate. My parents acted shocked that I'd been missing school. We had no idea, mom said sweetly. She shot me a look that said everything. One word, and they're gone forever. So I took the blame, said I'd been skipping, and accepted the consequences. Then my parents planned a week-long cruise, leaving me with 6 kids and $50. 3 days in, Luna fell off the playground and split her chin open. At the hospital, I held her while she sobbed into my neck, her blood soaking my shirt, her tiny hands gripping me like I was the only safe thing in the world. They wouldn't treat her without a parent. I sat there for 3 hours, my baby sister bleeding and crying, while I tried to forge signatures that might save her. I finally broke down and called my grandmother. When she arrived and saw me covered in Luna's blood, trying to comfort 5 other terrified siblings while nurses debated calling social services, her face changed. She got Luna treated, then loaded us all into her van. "Please don't let them take us away from each other," I begged her. "I know I'm not doing good enough, but they're all I have and I'm all they have, and if you tell anyone, they'll split us up." I was sobbing so hard I could barely breathe. Grandma pulled over and held me while I fell apart. "Oh, sweetheart," she said. "What have they done to you?" For the first time in 5 years, an adult saw what was happening, and I was terrified of what would come next. My parents came home to an empty house and called the police. At Grandma's house, they spun their story perfectly. "Our daughter won't let us parent," Mom cried. "She threatens the little ones, tells them we'll abandon them if they come to us for anything. We've tried to help, but she's created this sick situation where they're all trauma bonded to her." The social worker separated us for questioning. I could hear Leo screaming for me through the walls, and every cry felt like my heart being ripped out. This was it, the moment Mom had warned me about. They were going to take my babies away. "She's poisoned them against us," Dad said. "We're concerned she might hurt them or herself if we forcibly separate them. That's why we've been careful, trying to gradually reestablish normal boundaries." I could see my grandmother start to wonder if they were telling the truth. The social worker looked troubled. She asked my siblings who took care of them, and even Oliver just said "mama" and pointed at me. I saw her writing severe attachment disorder in her notes. She started making calls about emergency placement. We'd split up by morning, sent to different homes across the state. I was going to lose the only people that mattered to me, the only reason I had for living, all because I'd never been allowed to just be their sister like I should have been. Mom caught my eye and mouthed, "I warned you." Full story on the channel below.